Hi everyone, and welcome to another Doctor Who figure review by me, Meg Shots, and today I'll be reviewing another Forbidden Planet exclusive classic series figure set, and this time up it's the Peri Brown and Sil figure set, which is from Vengeance on Varos. Now, I got this set in the post today, and I was just so amazed when I got it, because both of these figures are absolutely fantastic in so many ways, and it's probably one of the most exciting classic series figure sets we've seen in a very long time, because not only are we getting a 80s monster figure that isn't a Dalek or Cyberman, we are also getting our first humanoid classic companion figure, which is Peri. From the episodes I've seen, I've thought Peri was actually quite a good companion, so I think it's nice to see a figure of her which can go with our 5th and 6th Doctor figures, and I just think it's brilliant that we're finally seeing a classic series humanoid companion in the figure line, so perhaps we could see some more in the future. And first of all, I'll be reviewing Peri and then Sil, but now I'm going to show you some pictures of the packaging. Starting off with the front, we can see that this packaging is the same style as the Master and Axon figure set packaging. It's not the standard blister pack that you may expect. It is a square shaped cardboard box. You've got the Russell T Davies era Doctor Who logo at the bottom of the bubble part of the box where you can see the two figures, and next to the new Doctor Who logo is a picture of Sil. And then on the left hand side of the logo there's also a picture of Peri. Below the logo it says Peri and Sil with tank. Then it tells you what era it's from, which is the 6th Doctor era. In the bottom right you've got an Underground Toys logo. Then on the bottom left you've got a new BBC logo. It also says Peri and Sil from Vengeance on Varos, and in the top right corner it says 5+. If we take a look at the side, we can see another Russell T Davies era Doctor Who logo, and also a couple of pictures showing Peri, the 6th Doctor, and Sil. Then next to that, it just tells you what the set contains. And if we take a look at the back, it is as you'd normally expect. You've got the same pictures from the side, and then next to them, you've got some information about what happens in Vengeance on Varos. Then above that, you've got these 8 circles which tell you how long each Doctor lasted for in their time in Doctor Who. And then you've also got another Russell T Davies era Doctor Who logo at the top. It also says 5+ in the top left. And then at the bottom you've got your same usual company and product information. And at the bottom there's just some more of that as well, with the blue background with lots of Gallifrey symbols and shapes. And now I'm going to start reviewing Peri. Okay, so here we have Peri in her costume from Vengeance on Varos. Now this figure is a completely new sculpt, and I'll be talking about it in detail in a minute. But first of all, I'd just like to show you this nice background which comes with the set. Now this is a scene from Vengeance on Varos, and I really like it when you get backgrounds with these sets, because they'd be very good for scene recreations, Doctor Who figure adventures, and also for taking pictures of the figures. Okay, so now I'm going to start talking about the detail of Peri. Now, if we take a look at her head sculpt, we can see that it does look a lot like Nicola Bryant, which is good. Her facial features have been painted on very carefully, and the eyes look quite nice. Her hair has been sculpted very well, and we can also see a hairband going across it at the top, which is a sort of dark reddish brown colour. And now we'll take a look at her clothing. Her blue top has quite a few creases on it, which makes it look very lifelike. You can just see some at the back towards the belt as well. She is also wearing a red and blue belt. She also has this little feature on her belt, which I think is meant to be a keyring. It's definitely some sort of small item that she did have in the 2 Doctors and Vengeance on Varos. And if we take a look at her shorts, we can see that they also look very lifelike. Many creases on them as well, which makes the figure look a lot more authentic. We can also see a pocket with a slightly darker blue button on it as well. Overall, her clothing is very good, very nicely sculpted, and it has been painted very carefully in the places that are a bit smaller. And she isn't wearing anything else on her legs apart from these red high heels at the bottom, which also have these greyish brown bases. And sometimes the high heels can make the figure a little difficult to stand up, but I haven't had many problems standing her up at the moment. And now I'll run through her articulation. Her head can turn 360 degrees without any difficulty. Both arms can do a 360 degree turn at the shoulders, as well as swivel 360 degrees at the biceps. They can also move up and down at the elbows, and both hands can turn 360 degrees. Lower body articulation now. She can turn at the waist 360 degrees. Her legs can move outwards as well as go backwards and forwards. There's also a hidden joint at the thighs where they can swivel a bit, and her legs can also bend at the knees. Okay, so that is all I have to say for Peri's detail and articulation, and overall I think that this figure of Peri is a very nice addition to the collection. She'll be very good for scene recreations and figure adventures with the 5th and 6th Doctor figures, and also I think that she is a very good figure in terms of detail, sculpt and articulation. Her head sculpt is very good. It definitely has a good likeness of Nicola Bryant. Her clothing has been made very nicely. It looks very lifelike, and there's plenty of articulation on her, making her good for lots of different poses. And out of 10, I give this figure of Peri Brown a very well earned 10 out of 10. A very nice addition to the collection and a very nice companion. Okay, so now I'm going to review Sil and his water tank. Okay, so here we have the very scary Sil on his water tank. Now, Sil is in fact a static figure. When I say static, I mean there is no articulation on it. Now, I am a little bit disappointed that there isn't any articulation on it, but with all the detail it has, I think it is just a really, really good figure. Okay, so if we take a look at his head, we can see this very mad facial expression. I think his eyes have been painted very well. They look very lifelike. And out of his mouth we can see his big pink tongue. You've also got this fin-like feature on top of the head and lots of veins. And below his head we can see this device, which I think might be a communication device, but since I haven't seen Vengeance on Varos, I actually have no idea what it is. You can also see his hands underneath, which are part of the sculpt, as you can see. You can also see his very weird tail-like feature, which has some scales more closer to the main part of the body, and then some lines where it ends. So I think for detail, Sil is a really nice figure, but I just am a bit disappointed that he doesn't have any articulation. I think it would have been good if he was at least given a couple of joints at the arms where he could move. But apart from the lack of articulation, I still think Sil is a fantastic figure. I mean, he has been painted very carefully with the right colours, and the detail on him just makes him a very interesting figure. So out of 10, I give Sil a very well earned 8 out of 10. A great figure in a lot of ways, but just not in terms of articulation. Okay, so here we have Sil's water tank. Now, this is quite an interesting item for detail. If we take a look at the top, we can see that yellow has been painted where Sil has sat. Now, I do really like this because Sil does look like a very slimy creature. So, in real life, if you saw a creature like that getting up from a chair, you would probably expect to see something like this underneath. This part in the middle, which is meant to be water, is actually a sticker. Now, I don't have any problems with this because it does look very realistic and you can see some bubbles on it. However, the water at the top of it, underneath where Sil sits, is actually made of plastic, and it has been made very well. You can see some bubbles and lumps inside it. Also around his water tank you can find a lot of electrical parts, like these buttons here and some wires and electrical things here. There's also this little thing here which I am not sure on what it is, and on the back you've also got this thing that looks like a computer keyboard, and then at the side you've got some more electrical things, probably a life support system for Sil, I'm guessing, and at the bottom you've just got some copyright information. And overall, I think Sil's water tank is a very nice feature to go along with the figures. Obviously, it'll be very good for scene recreations of Vengeance on Varos, and you could also probably use it as something in your Doctor Who figure adventures if you're making some. And from me, it gets a very well earned 10 out of 10. A very interesting feature and very highly detailed. And once again, Sil gets a very well earned 8 out of 10. Nice figure, but I would like it more if there was some articulation. And now I'm going to talk about the set as a whole. So after reviewing both of these figures, I think this is another absolutely brilliant Forbidden Planet exclusive set. I think Peri is a great figure with the detail, the head sculpt and the articulation that she has, and she'll be a good figure to go with your 5th Doctor and 6th Doctor figures, as I said before. And I also really like Sil for his detail and sculpt, and I also really like the water tank that it comes with. And out of 10, I give the Peri and Sil figure set a very well earned 8 out of 10. These are both absolutely fantastic additions to my collection, and I'd highly recommend that you buy this set. However, I do think the set would have been just a little bit better if Sil had some articulation, because then it'd be a bit more of a fun figure rather than just an interesting one to look at. And that is all I have to say for this review for now, YouTubers. I hope you've all enjoyed watching it, and for now, a very Merry Christmas to you and a very Happy New Year. Thanks for watching, YouTubers.